It's a long way to Tipperary, it's a long way to go. It's a long
Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, good morning. Welcome to Batemans World War I weekend. What you have in front of you, and I hope you'll ask them lots of questions, is probably one of the best displays of living history for the Great War available in this country.
It's a long, long way to Tipperary, but my heart right there.
On the right of the line here, the 6th of Foot, the Royal Warwickshire Regiment, senior regiment of the British Army. These men are 1st Battalion, regular soldiers. They have chosen the army as their career before the outbreak of the war. In the centre here, with their battalion flash on their arm like mine, are the Essex Regiment, the 10th Battalion.
Welcome to 10th Essex Battalion Headquarters. I'm Captain Thrush, the Adjutant. Now, the 10th Essex is a battalion that was raised as part of Kitchener's drive for volunteers in 1914. Now, in the front line, we'd probably spend the best part of a week actually in frontline trenches facing the Germans. That's not to say we're in action every day. The British Army does not go over the top every single day to go and engage the Germans. Often you can go months without seeing any serious action.
Now, it's interesting to note, ladies and gentlemen, that the descendants of this German fellow here, when they first saw British Tommies in 1914, I'm going to do a terrible imitation now, sir. My God, those Tommies, they look like golfers, don't they? In their little green uniforms and their flat caps. And they actually laughed at the rather unmilitary look of the British soldier in the field. However, they were not laughing when they met the short magazine Lee Enfield rifle. They learned to shoot 15 rounds in 1 minute at a target 300 yards away, and we'll show you it in action now. Generally, the SMLE gets spontaneous applause, ladies and gentlemen. Are there any Americans in the audience? Not at the moment. They'll get here eventually, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, the 10th Essex are, in my mind, as a member, one of the premier, if not the premier, living history groups covering the Great War. They were formed as part of a project by the National Army Museum. They've been on various large events, including the Somme March with the BBC Breakfast Show in 2006. They also support charities as well, so it's not just bringing the standard up to the level that you see. The reason for that, I think, is the fact that we have very many ex-servicemen and also several serving servicemen. We've got 3 senior members of the Royal Army Corps with us, and this ensures the standards are high.
We have communication from a dispatch rider from Brigade, it looks like. So it may well be we have alternate orders coming through. Thank you. And we have orders from Brigade. If you'd like to gather around so you can just see a little bit of this. We have an aerial photograph here. If you look at it more closely, it looks rather like the surface of the moon. All of those craters are shell holes, which gives you some idea of just how fierce the artillery duel is between each side.
Mr. Weaver? Yes? I can't reach the camera! Say again? I can't reach the camera! Well, stand up! Stand up! Yes! It's perfectly safe. I have my seatbelt on. Jolly good! Right, I'm just going to bank to the right. Banking now. Stay with me. Coming back on the right. Right, put the second plate in.
Second plate, sir. All ready with the second plate, sir.
Right, I'll tell you when, Maguire.
Tell me when.
Good man. Right, start taking.
Now! Lovely, sir. That seems a good photograph. Oh. Oh my. Sir? Mr. Weaver?
Yes?
I don't want to be a bother, but I seem to drop the plate.
Maguire, you arse!
Looking around me, all I can see are tents and men in khaki. I'm probably, in my experience, the biggest collection of World War I living historians in period tentage I've ever seen, and it's utterly fantastic.
Now, this chap, ladies and gentlemen, is not wearing a surgical mask against smelling that German's breakfast before he bayonets him. He has the barley mask. Gas, gas, gas. The barley mask is soaked with a bottle of anti-gas solution, and the goggles will protect your eyes from the inflammatory nature of the gas. So the barley mask is good, and it's an in-theatre solution made in France, stitched by nuns in a Belgian monastery.
A child perhaps studying the Great War or the World War II can actually go up and feel the cloth of a soldier's uniform, feel how heavy a rifle was. So when they read about it in a book or they're told by their teacher, they can think, oh, actually I do know what he's talking about or she's talking about, how heavy a rifle was and how hot and sweaty these poor men must have been. That is when it becomes living history rather than just reenacting.
Not the nuclear effect of Hollywood, ladies and gentlemen, with bodies flying through the air, but enough to drive the fragments of the grenade up to about 30 metres, which is about the distance that most men can achieve throwing it. Now these mortars, we stash them away in the second line in specially dug pits, and they lob bombs quite accurately the few hundred metres into the Hun trenches.
2014, 100th anniversary of the outbreak of the Great War. I mean, this is a very, very important date. Already we've been approached by the National Trust and a museum we work with to be ready for it. They're booking us now 18 months in advance. It is going to be a very moving time.
Now that is what you call bang for your buck, isn't it?
It's a long, long way to Tipperary, but my heart